Hello again, it's Derek. I'm in the workshop again, working on my latest bike. It's a James Captain 1954. I've done the engine, painted the frame. I just wanted to show you a couple of little jobs for anybody who's doing anything like this. There's no seat. Our seat was missing, so I've had to make a new seat. These seat pans, they rot away. Originally they get a tear in the seat cover, sponge gets wet, because it's undercover it can't, the water doesn't drain out and it rots the pan out from underneath. So you find a lot of these seat pans are completely gone, and even if you had a second hand one, you have to repair it. So it's easy to make a new one as what it is to try and repair an old one. So I had some sheet metal in. This is a bit of sheet metal I had left over from another project, and I got some basic measurements, and I made this. So I'm not showing you how to make a seat pan, but just how you go about it and putting these on for holding the cover down. Now, being a skinflint and a bit of a cheapskate, I wanted a new seat. I wanted a seat cover. I need a seat cover, I need a sponge, I need a pan. So you're into money for a pan, money for a cover, money for sponge and everything else. So I always like to use things I've got lying about. So I had this lying about, so I've made this seat pan, and the sponge for inside. This is the sponge here. This came from an old settee. I scrapped a settee, got a new settee a few months ago, and I broke it up to take it to the tip, and there's foam inside. It was like this thick, loads of it. I thought it's expensive, this stuff, so I salvaged it, just chucked it in the shed for a week or two, and I'm going to use it for sponging this. Now, to buy that, go out and buy a new piece of sponge, it costs you, I don't know, 30 quid to have it cut and what have you. So you know, it runs out inexpensive. Well, when it's inside the seat, nobody can see it any road. So that's the sponge I'm using. Now, what I wanted to show you was, because I didn't have a seat, I didn't have a seat or anything, no cover or anything, I wanted to buy a new seat cover. And I thought, well, if I'm making a pan, I may as well make a pan to fit a seat cover. And I found this on the internet, and it's off a Honda CB125. It's a cracking seat cover. There's nothing wrong with that. 15 quid, brand new. Can't believe it. So I'm going to fit that, and what I want to do is show you how to go about making the seat pan. Not going about making the seat pan, but how to fit the seat cover, because one of the biggest problems, it's not, you can make a seat pan, it's how to fit the cover onto the base. You can bolt it or staple it, but I always found it, I've seen seats with these little teeth in here. See these teeth? You put your seat cover on, stretch it over there, puncture the seat leather, and then fold them down. And I think that's by far and away the best way to do it. So I've made this row of teeth here and put them on. I just want to show you how I did that. Okay, so I've got a pair of Gilbo shears. I put a lever, I'll put it in the vise just to make it easier. I also I want these, to make it anything easier, I will do. So I just put it in there and make everything a bit easier. Just a bit of sheet metal. This is what I made the seat pan out of, and this is just an off cut. I don't measure anything, just take about, say about 1.5 inches or something like that. don't measure anything because you can't see it when it's inside anyway, so it doesn't matter what it looks like, whether it's not equal or whatever, because it's never be seen again. So you just cut a strip of metal off. So what you want is a series of points putting on there. So what you want to do is to put a couple of V's in like that all the way down. So what you do is start off there, put it 3/4 of the way down, and from that corner like that, not measuring anything, because it doesn't really matter, because nobody's ever going to see it anyway. So you want them to be sharp up then, so they'll puncture the leather. So you end up with something like that. So a series of cuts leaving those on. You want to straighten this up now. Knock those little triangles out. I'm using a screwdriver. This is the only. I only use this screwdriver as a punch. I don't use it as a screwdriver. I don't believe in using screwdrivers as punches. This is one I don't use it as a screwdriver. So you end up with a series of fairly sharp teeth. You weld that to the inside of the seat, stretch your cover over there, just bend it back and your seat's in position. Now these are a little bit long, so all I'll do is just trim these off now. So what I'm going to do is put a couple of them right up in these corners here, so when the seat comes round it can grip it in there. Got it all around there, I'm quite happy with all them. Just want a couple there, so made a few too many here. So what I'll do is just nick a couple of them off there. Two there and two there. So cut your fingers off. More hurry, less speed. I'm trying to do this so you can see it, so a little bit more. I can't get it facing in the camera. So that's the one I've just welded on. Just spot welded onto position now, and that's painted up. It's all in position, it'll be perfect. What I'll do is I'll finish the seat off, and then I'll show you what it's like when it's finished. I've not got my mask on, but I'm closing my eyes. I do it blind. It's just close my eyes and then point it, zap it. You don't need a mask on for doing this, as long as you close your eyes. I've got to say that this welder I bought is absolutely brilliant. An Andeli MIG welder is fantastic.